Hello, Gray Sox Club and friends. I'm here with a message. I want to talk to y'all about conscious awareness. If you kind of got an idea or you've painted a picture for yourself of what that might be diving into, what it might mean, consciousness is a state of being open to a sense, a state of being in a place, conscious. And then the awareness of that place is where you get conscious awareness. So you may be going through something and you may be able to convey that you feel uncomfortable or you feel like you're stressed out. But to express it is the marriage of consciousness and awareness. You express it and then you find ways where you can navigate through it. So that puts you in the driver's seat of your own consciousness, the driver's seat of your awakeness. And so you're not just, there and looking, but you're there and able and there and willing. A lot of the channeling that I've been receiving lately has been about intention. And it goes hand in hand with what I've been, advising the people that are in my life right now or the people that are coming to me. I always say it's more important to have an intention and get it done than to wander or to do things on purpose. So doing things on purpose is coming from a state of maturity, and that's where you get this conscious awareness that comes into play with doing things on purpose. So you're not just out here breaking hearts, or you're not just out here doing things aimlessly without any good intention or without any understanding of the human behind that action that you're doing. So today I'm getting into two topics that kind of express how to begin your walk in this sense of conscious awareness. And the two topics are going to be transit, and then the other one is going to be mind awareness. Now on this channel, I'm going to get into a few different things, but today I want to start off with this because this is going to be the foundation of everything else. Everything else that comes into the forefront is going to be modeled off of this conscious awareness. So the first thing we're going to talk about is transit. And this is also one of those things that is self-explanatory, but at the same time, you kind of got to dive in it to get the message out of it. And it's almost like how a bee has to go to a flower and abstract the nectar in order to create the honey. So this is the image I'm creating for you. But also I would like you guys to do your best to dive into your imagination a little bit. Throughout different teachings in life, people tell you to stray away from your imagination, to stray away from your creative thinking. And I believe that is a attack on your ability to be creative. And you should be creative. You shouldn't be harmful, but you should know how to be a critical thinker. So be able to abstract things out of the nectar of life, so be able to say, if you're in a situation, know how you can know the different doors that you can go into, know the different roads that you can go down and what might be down there. And sometimes it's based off of experience, and sometimes you are educating yourself to get to a certain place. And so that's why that comes in with intention. But with the transits, I'm going to read a few things and then I'm going to talk about them. So transit. This should present a moment of clarity. And point A is going to be main questions that arise should mostly be about intent. Where are you going and where do you seek to be? Where do you want to be most present? So this idea of a transit is allowing you to motivate your direction. So if you take it out of context that you're the problem or that you're the one who is causing things to happen, also could say that you're the one that is not doing anything or the one that is not causing something to happen. But then also you have in play a higher frequency that embodies everything. So that could be universe, that could be God, that could be, whoever it is that you deem to be over your life. So if you know who's over your life, then you know where your nectar comes from. And this is a connection that can get lost in translation, different belief systems. So that's why I'm going to go to the second point, and we're going to dive deep into it, okay? So the second point is creative transit. So the first point was main questions that arise, right? And then the second point is going to be creative transit. And with those main questions, we want to be able to know you're presenting to yourself what it is you most want, what it is that you most desire, and how you can put yourself in that place. Now, this is not about you making a mistake. This is not about you making the wrong decision, because we've been there before. The idea around this is taking us to a place where we most resonate. Not out of feelings of not being good enough, or being too different, or not being able to comprehend the text. So you want to understand that the movement that's happening in your life is something that you can observe first. Know that you can observe your life. You don't have to just be stuck in it and not being able to move, like sleep paralysis, which is another thing that we're going to get into eventually. But you can actually create colors in your world. You can put towns in your world and places where you feel most safe. This is not about being delusional, but it is about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. They can be one and the same, though, if you didn't know that. Because it's about an energy transfer. So what can you do to be in that observing seat? So you don't feel stuck, so you don't feel like there's no hope, so you don't feel like you don't know where to go. There will be people in the tangible world that can guide you, that can aid you. But at the end of the day, if you don't choose where you are, you will be anywhere and everywhere. Okay? So if you look at things from a place of where you are moving the picture, then you come to an understanding and an inner standing that you are, in a sense, you're in control. Or you can be in control. And that doesn't mean you love your God any less. That doesn't mean you love your Savior any less. It just means that you are now in a mature seat, that now you can have powerful conversations with them. Now you can say, okay, I see this, but can you direct me in this direction and show me what the picture looks like over here? And in a loving way, they will respond. Because you being invited into this message means you're going places. Not only are you going places, but you are somebody. And you being somebody, you are able to mold the picture as a clay maker. So a potter, as a potter. So now you've gone through the different stages and the different scenes within your picture or your film, your movie, the scope of your life. You've seen what that looks like. But now you can also direct the movie. So you have to understand that this creative transit, let's get a bit of a definition of the transit in itself. We know that's transportation, getting from one place to the next. But what if it also is a haven? A place to gather your things and see what you collected along the way. And understand what you want to keep and what you want to leave behind. So with this transit, I mold into a picture. There's a transportation service that is coming through sooner than later. And if you haven't caught on to it yet, then you are on your way to the bus station, pretty much, or on your way to the train station. But it's literally coming, and it's going to be something that those who are on their way to Haven are going to be able to choose to get on or to stay where they are. And these sorts of transits come along often, but they are easy to miss. This is a bit of a different thing because I've been actually calculating this for a long time. I've been in a place where my guides, my God, and my predecessors have been aiding me towards and helping me get the information that I need in order to move in the direction that I was predestined for. So, but we're here together. Is that what I want you to understand? All of this information I'm sharing with you is for the main part for you to know you are not alone. And that right there is sometimes the hardest message to receive. So let's go to the next point of mind awareness. And we're going to look at what we're talking about when it comes to mind awareness. So one image I would like to invite you to is the image that minding awareness. So think about the people that mine things, like mining gold or diamonds or jewels or stones or crystals. Minding. So you're minding awareness. You're going into this place and you're working out the kinks and twists and turns and the roughness of what is going on. Now you've been places. You've been hurt. You've been disappointed. You've been let down. You've been missed out on. But you also have experienced very great things. And this is what I know of you. But let's look at this. More often than not, those who commune with the sage, that's me, are not eager to be in quiet. So that quiet place, it is not a place that most people I encounter are happy with. They are not okay with being in the quiet. A lot of people I know have to go to sleep with some sort of noise. A lot of people I know can't do a task without turning music on. Okay? It's often young or old, the person is looking for activity. So there has to be some kind of conjunction going on, some kind of alleviation continuously happening in order for them to be stable in a sense. But it's not even a stability because at the core they're not comfortable or not even content with that sort of motion. It's just something they've grown used to, and they use it because it's a tool. And that's where we're going to go and look at these different things that happen to us and become habits, but they become tools for us to navigate our own psyche, okay? Which this search or conquer is creativity present. It presents itself in many ways. Okay, so I'm gonna read that again so we can get an understanding and an inner knowing, okay? So mind awareness. More often than not, those who commune with the sage, that's me, are not eager to be in quiet. It's often young or old. The person is looking for activity, which this search or conquer is in creatively present. It's creatively presents itself, which this search or conquer creatively presents itself in many ways. We're looking at dream state. We're looking at mind state. We're looking at purpose-driven tasks. And in these, I will call these containers, what could be going on, or in these beacons, as though we're in a science lab, right? So chaos or intent or both are presented. So that activity that's going on, chaos or intent, right? So you can look at it as different patterns that are presenting themselves based off of the tools that you have gathered throughout your timeline. Okay? So this is our road to your focus. This is key, and that's capital K, lowercase e, capital Y, and we'll get into it, all right? But for now, let's understand or know what we're looking at, right? Conscious awareness. Conscious awareness is a consistent cleanup for your creative being. Take time and space and create, okay? Yes, you, creative being. Each time you choose this space, you drive your knowing force to places some will never or only dream of. Some people will only dream of the places you are taking your creative being. Go to the confidence within where you take place. The confidence where you take place. So where's your confidence? Who is your confidence? What is your confidence? How is your confidence, right? The most vital position in any walk of life. The time to perfect your light and gravitate to your true mirror. So a lot of within conversation, the main thing that's always going to happen is reflection. You feel me? The main thing that's going to happen in any conversation is reflection. But when I present myself to you, each time it's about a powerful conversation. Each time I present myself to you, it's going to be about a powerful conversation. I may use different tools to present the message to you. I may use different words. I may take you to different places within your timeline. But at the end of the day, Bird S. Keys and all of my divisions, I am here to present to you your powerful conversation that's going to take you to your conscious awareness. I'll share stories about myself and my experiences. I'll share stories about my interactions. There's so much that we can get into. And I know that you guys have an understanding of where I'm going. If you are a Gray Sox Club, it's always going to be a flow when we meet. And if that's just through the screen or in comments or in messages or however our interaction comes about. But then we have friends that also come in and they may not really resonate, right? Or they may be curious, but they may also not really want to move forward, okay? And that's okay, right? We are in a place where we can design our destiny. We're here to design our destiny. So things that come up in life, we can let it affect us or we can let it encourage us. So if we let the happenings of life encourage us, then it's easier to read the story. Because now we have a comprehension of our output and what that is doing to our intuition. So the things that we put out into our spaces, into our world, into our destination, into our destiny, those are the things that reflect back to us who we are internally. Now, sometimes you go to a place and you have no connection to it. Okay, this is that in the world but not of it type thing. And this could happen in different scenarios. And it's not all about, I'm this person and they're that person and so we don't connect. That's not what it's about. Sometimes your DNA, your genetic design is not conducive for certain environments. And that is the truth. But that doesn't mean you don't have a purpose. Okay? So I shared with you a couple different things, and I can go a little further. I think I might stay just for a little longer and just kind of be right here with you, okay? But I just want you to know where you're about to go. I'm holding your hand, man, for real, in a big way. And when I go into my stages and places of meditation, whether that's in prayer or I'm literally meditating or I'm on my walks, I think about you and I ask that the creative beings of the universe conceive for you that perfect harmony. Because to live without that perfect harmony is very devastating. And I've experienced it. So I know the kind of mindsets that could come up when you're in those places. And it could be quite terrifying.